Hi, welcome to my podcast. My name is Raquel, and today is Sunday, the 4th of September, 2016. It's a nice sunny day. Woke up. It was sunny here where I live, and then I should mention I woke up at around 6:45 this morning because I was going to meet up with a couple of friends and go to the beach, but one friend couldn't go because she was sick. But the other one came and met me at the beach. So yeah, it was sunny here when I left the house, but when I got to the beach it was really foggy, so I got some photos. I'll try add in some photos at the end. I have some other photos to show, to add in at the end as well. I'm on my dining room table again, and Sit is playing with a couple of things that I've left on the dining room table, so at least he's not getting into my knitting. He's now playing with some papers and stuff. So yeah, Sunday, it's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have some finished objects to show you, and some whips, and some stash enhancement. So I'll get started on that. I'll start with the works in progress, so I'm just going to put my knitting aside, show you that in a second. So I have two finished projects today. One is the cardigan I was working on last week, the hoodie shawl cardigan. I finished it. I believe I was working on the first sleeve, and I finished that sleeve on Sunday last week, and cast on or picked up the stitches for the second sleeve, did a bit on that on the second sleeve, and then worked on it on Monday evening and finished it on Wednesday, because Tuesday my mom was here to help me move around the living room furniture, and was just too tired in the evening to do any knitting. So yeah, so here it is, my hoodie shawl cardigan. That's the back of it, 2 sleeves. And here's the front with the hood. The photos I mentioned before, I'll add in some photos of the cardigan so that you can see the whole thing. I decided to add in, I didn't have any more left of the grey. I used it to the very end. So I decided to use the other 3 colors I had in the cardigan for the sleeves as well. And it's a bracelet length cardigan. It's a bit higher than bracelet length, and it's not quite 3/4. It's slightly longer than 3/4 and shorter than a bracelet length. But I like it, I don't mind. I had plenty of yarn left. I could have easily made it longer, but I'm happy with the length of the sleeves. These lines you see here are actually a bit of pooling going on in the sleeves, which I'm fine with. Also on the other sleeve, a bit more on the other sleeve. And yeah, I'm really happy with this cardigan. I'm definitely going to knit this again. But the next time, because this was the first time knitting it, I didn't know, I followed the pattern exactly as written. The next time I will make some modifications in terms of increases for the front over here. When I put it on, and I'm not going to put it on now because it's really warm, there's a whole bunch of fabric that just creases up like this, and so yeah, I'm thinking of maybe adding more stitches to the sleeves right from the get-go and do less increases for the front, but that's for the next time I plan on doing the cardigan, which won't be just yet. So yeah, that's my first finished object. Let's put that over here. I still need to sew in the ends and wash it and block it. I'm not going to block it aggressively because it is quite large already. I did the largest size of the pattern because I did want a nice comfy cardigan for in the winter. There's no buttons on here at all. Several, or at least one person who's tried it on said for her she'd like to put a zipper in it. Which is fine, you know, you can easily adjust the cardigan. The second item I finished is one of my old whips that I planned on finishing until the 31st of August. By the way, that knit along on my group has been extended until the end of the year. I still have two to finish, which is the blanket and the dragon, the crochet dragon, which I haven't picked up for a while. I need to pick that one up again because it's so close to finishing. I really need to finish it now. So yeah, I've extended it till the end of the year. It's just a easy knit along, no prizes. It's just fun knit along. See if you can finish your, clear your needles, finish off those whips. One of the whips that I had was my split top tunic, which is the split top by La Maison Rilly. I made it last year for the Ovelha Negra knit along in July, August, and I made the top, and then I liked it so much I decided to change around the colors I used on the original top and make a tunic out of it. And that one was put to the side for various reasons. I didn't have enough yarn and I needed to wait on the new yarn, and then eventually I got the new yarn, and then I had test knits to do. So it took a while for it to get finished, but I finished it on the 31st of August. The cardigan also finished on the 31st of August, which was like on Wednesday, and I decided to take a rest day after working on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, rearranging things here in the apartment. So yeah, so here it is. Here's the top, and I was pretty close to finishing it last time you saw it. I was about 15 rows up above the stripes, so I did another 50. I put it on waste yarn because I needed to know the length of it, and I thought it was still a bit too short, so I added another 15 rows of the brown, then added this 3 stripe section, and added another 10 rows after the stripe section, and then 10 rows of ribbing, and then finished it off like the rest of the top. Again, this needs to be blocked and needs to be ends need to be woven in. I took it to my knit night on Thursday. I took both the cardigan and this one. My friend who owns the shop immediately picked it up and put it on over her dress, which is quite funny. But yeah, this is the yarn I used for this was Olivia by Ovelha Negra, and the colors, the brown is number 50 Cove, and the blue is number 34 Tweed. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I just need, like I said, I need to block it, and I think I will block this one a bit more aggressively. I should have done this on 4mm needles, or at least 3.5s, and I did this on 3mm and 3/25s for the bottom. And I like the fabric more when it's not so dense. I like it more open, which I'll show you in my works in progress in a second, because I'm working with the same yarn again. This yarn is a 55 merino 45 cotton blend, so it's supposedly quite nice for the summer, but for me at this gauge it's still too hot to wear. Maybe at the gauge I'm doing it on my new sweater, it's better because it's airier and lets in a little bit more air. This, as you can, it's not very see-through. I mean, it's a bit see-through, but not very see-through. And so yeah, but I'm happy with the overall project. I'm going to block it quite aggressively. Well, I'm going to stretch it out quite a bit to see if it, because I wanted a looser fit than the actual top, and at the moment it's pretty much the tight fit of the top, which I wasn't really looking for in a dress. I wanted it to be more loose, especially because this dress could easily be worn in the winter with like a long sleeve sweater or a long sleeved t-shirt underneath. So those are my 2 finished objects for this week. Let's go on to works in progress. I only had one to show you, but last night I got a bit, I had what the other podcasters called the castonitis. I needed to start a new project. I finished 2 projects, and I immediately started a new project on Wednesday, even though I wasn't going to. I was going to pick up the dragon and carry on with that, but I was like, no. I finished 2 projects. I need to start a new one, and so I did. I started the cal for Ovelha Negra for August, September. Actually, I believe it started on the 27th of July and goes until the end of September, which is a hint of summer sweater by Isabel Kraemer. And again, like I said, I'm using the Ovelha Negra Olivia yarn, which is the 55 merino 45 cotton blend. It's considered a fingering. I'd say it's a very light fingering or heavy lace, but I love working with this yarn. It's really great yarn to work with. Great for summer, like I said. But now I've found the gauge I like to work with it, and that's the gauge I'm going to work with it from now on. So I'm using 3 colors for my Hint of Summer. If you go on Ravelry, the original sweater is made in 2 colors, striped, and there's a lot of projects using different stripes, just plain simple colors. I saw one that I liked using 3 colors. I'm not copying it exactly, I just came up with my own stripe scheme. So I'll show you the colors first, and then I'll show you where I'm at with the sweater. So I'm using this one, which is 09 Aconite, nice yellow color, and yellow is not my color, but I really liked it together with the 2 other colors, so I decided to go for it. This is number 80, Geranium, and it's a bit more pink than showing up on screen. Let's see if I can put it together like that. There you go, that's more it. And then the main color of the sweater is number 79, Kingfisher. So this is the main color, and these are the striping colors. And this is where I'm at. So I'm going to be doing, I'm going to lengthen it quite a bit longer than the pattern calls for. I also did not do any waist decreases, which the pattern calls for. I didn't see the need for it. It's a page 4 pattern, so but what you find on Ravelry is that you have to choose a size with 25 centimeters positive ease. Now, I don't mind some baggy, a little bit of baggy sweater, but 25 centimeters is a lot, and I'm not doing that. I'm actually knitting size small, which is going to give me approximately 10 centimeters of positive ease, and that's already quite a lot. If I'd done the size extra small, it would have been maybe just 2 centimeters of positive ease, and yeah, or it would have been pretty close. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, where am I at? I'm going to do another, so I've just started this striping here, and I'm going to do it up to here. So I'm going to do all of this, still in terms of length. Then I'm going to, I still haven't decided, there's 3 different options to finish off the sweater. I still haven't decided how I'm going to finish it. I think I'm going to go for the ribbing, but I'm not sure. Then, depending on how much yarn I have left over of all the other colors, I do the sleeves, and I planned right from the very beginning that this was going to be a very short sleeve sweater, because I like short sleeve sweaters. I prefer to be able to put something like a long sleeved t-shirt underneath it than have long sleeves and then be constantly trying to roll them up, and that, you know, ruins the fabric of your knitting, especially if, you know, if it's something I've knitted myself. I want to take better care of it than maybe some store-bought. Anyway, sleeves aren't going to be starting right here on the shoulders. They're going to drop shoulders, as you can see. So they're going to start over here, and I think I'm just going to do it up to my elbow. maybe a bit longer, maybe the 3/4 sleeves. I haven't decided yet. I'll see once I finish the whole sweater and I can put it on properly to see where exactly it does really fall. So that's my whip number 1 for this week. And yesterday I kind of got bored with just knitting in the round, despite the color changes and all that, and I decided to cast on for a hat that I've been meaning to knit, which is the Langfield hat by Martina Behm. And I'm using, let's see, oh, okay, so back to the sweater, just quickly. See this? This is way more see-through. And I'm knitting these on 4mm, and I love the fabric I'm getting with this. So from now on, Olivia yarn for garments is going to be knit with, if it's just the single thread, it's going to be knit with 4mm for sure. Okay, so on to the second whip, which is the Langfield hat by Martina Behm. I'm using Crazy Zauberball, and in the Fluspet number 1163, I believe, Fluspet color. Oh no, sorry, Fluspet 1660. That's the color. Kind of like that. Oh, and the 1601 2016 is when I bought it, so I bought it this year, at the beginning of the year. And the moment I saw this, it was definitely, I straight away said, no, this is going to be a hat. I just didn't know which one it was going to be. I actually started to make the sockhead hat with this, but only had like maybe 2 centimeters of the ribbing done, and I decided to rip it out and do this hat instead. And I'm almost to the point where it's a really fun construction, this hat. She has two. She has the Langfield and the Tensfield, which are pretty similar. And basically you can use any yarn, any needles, to make this hat. It's all it all depends on the circumference of your head. So yeah, it's a paid for pattern, so I won't give it away too much. But I'm almost to the point where I can complete the hat. And this was just knitting from last night, when I got fed up with making the sweater. So yeah, those are my works in progress. So again, just 2. And hopefully both of them will be done by next week. Although I do start work again on Monday. I had this week off. I was, like I said, rearranging the house, the living room. Again, just water, but so it avoids sticking his head in. So, otherwise I have a cat drinking my water when he has 2 bowls to drink out of. So then, Thursday morning, I went with my friend who couldn't make it today to the beach, and her puppy. She's 4 months old. The other friend that I met up with today has the brother of the puppy I went with on Thursday, so it's quite fun. These 2 friends both decided to get a dog at the same time, and they went to Midas, which is a non-profit organization here in Portugal that it's kind of like a shelter. They take care of abandoned dogs and animals. And these 2 puppies came from a litter of 11. It's a stray dog that lives close to Midas, and they've just not been able to catch her and sterilize her, because apparently she has several, at least twice a year, has a litter of, like a whole litter of puppies, and it's not just 2 or 3, no, it's like 11 to 15 puppies at a time. So yeah, they got 2 of the puppies, and it's hilarious. It's just, I'll add some photos in of Thursday and of today. Today was nice and foggy, so there's different it's different, and you'll see the difference between the 2 dogs. One's more like Dakota, the other one's more brown. But yeah, they're super sweet, these dogs. They're only 4 months, so they're super active. Actually, it's quite funny. Soot was 4 months on Friday, and these two dogs will be 4 months tomorrow. So there's like 3 days difference between them. So it's really easy to remember their birthdays. Yeah, Soot. He's been behaving himself a lot more. He still gets into some mischief. He's starting to jump onto the counter in the kitchen, and I don't want him to do that, so I've been just pushing him off basically and telling him no. And yeah, it's just a matter of, he has to get used to the rules here at the house. He has to know that he's not the boss of the house. He can get away with some things, just not everything. Yarn, he's been pretty much leaving it alone, except of course when he sees it dangling in front of him, and then he'll go for it. But yeah, he's been behaving himself. He loves to cuddle up with the dogs when they let him. Dakota's more of like, only when she's super tired will she let him cuddle up, because he still tends to cuddle up but then get bored and start biting her legs, which obviously, poor Dakota doesn't want that. Rusty will let him get close, but if he feels he's being bothered too much, he'll growl, and Soot will just leave him alone. So he's getting to know the rules, and he's behaving himself. Yeah. On Friday evening, I went to my friend's house, who I went with to the beach on Thursday, because she was having a sleepover with for her daughter and her friends, her daughter's friends. Okay, it's been a lot. Sorry. And she offered me this skein of yarn, which, I wasn't expecting at all, but it was great. I'm already planning on making this a hat as well. I was planning on making the sock hat out of this, but maybe I'll see how the line field fits, and maybe I'll do the same one, or I'll do the cleanse field, which is slightly different. So yeah, it's this. It's not quite fingering, and it's not quite a sport. It's like in between. It says to use 3.5 to 4mm needles, and this was dyed by Mange Sap et Pêche de Patte, which translated is hands of a frog and feet of a duck. And yeah, I don't know if this blog's still active. If it is, I'll link it in the show notes. It's 100% wool, and yeah, I quite like it. The greens, the blues, the pinks, a bit of purple in there. Yeah, just a nice variation of color. There's more green on this side, more blue and purple on that side. So it should make for a nice hat, I'm sure. And I have one. I've only been showing you crochet and knitting on this podcast so far, but I used to do a lot of cross stitching, and every now and then I pick it up again. And one of the projects I'm working on, and I can't find the actual piece. It's hidden away in the craft room, and like I said, I haven't finished tidying up the craft room yet, so I need to do that. But moving around furniture and putting together a table, it took quite a lot of the table, especially putting it together. Took my mom and I like an hour and a half to put the whole thing together, and this table is quite heavy. I originally bought it to replace my current dining room table, because my dining room table is quite large, and it's currently perpendicular to the outdoor window. I'm gonna put it horizontally. I'm gonna turn it around so that I have a bit more space here in the sitting area. But anyway, cross stitching. One of the things I really like doing, I have a whole bunch of finished cross stitch that I've framed, and it's hanging up on my walls in the hallway, which I might show you sometime. My favorite one is the map of the United States. Took me quite some time to cross stitch, but it's definitely my favorite piece so far. But I have several kits still to make, and one of the kits I picked up maybe 2 years ago, with a plan of making a pillow out of it. Depending on how big it's going to be, I might change that idea. Is one from the Dimensions called White Magic. Like I said, I can't find the actual piece I'm working on. I'll try to find it for next week and show it. But this is the picture. 2 white wolves. And I know I've done most of this section here, and I think I started on this wolf already. So yeah, still quite a bit to go, but I'll see if I can find it and I'll show you. Now, this being a kit, it comes with all the floss you need and all that. What I always like to do is take the chart, the original chart it comes with, and photocopy that, so I don't ruin the original chart, and I can highlight the copy easily to mark off where I'm at and everything. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Yeah, that's it for today. So, nice short episode. I'm going to add in some photos of the finished dress and cardigan hanging at the yarn storm, so you can see the whole effect. And some of the dogs playing at the beach from Thursday, and some from this morning. And yeah, that's it. So have a nice week, and I'll be back next week. Bye! Okay, hi, I'm back. I decided to go get the piece I was mentioning in cross stitch, the map of the US of A, and then also another piece that I really liked making it a lot, and I like the finished effect of it. I'm not going to go into the story behind it because it's kind of emotional and I don't want to start crying. So here's the first one. A white tiger. A white tiger. And now there is a mistake in it, and every time I look at it I can see it straight away. But I love tigers. I love the big cats. Tigers, lions, panthers, yeah. And white tigers are definitely my favorite. So this is one of my favorite pieces, and I love making it. And I think, you know, it looks, yeah, it's a pretty good image of a white tiger. Let's see if you can, it is all cross stitch, as you can see. Yeah, I can always see the mistake in there. So, behind me, let me get up, is the map of the US of A, which I cross stitched. And it's so big, I can't even show it all. There. I don't want it to catch the glare of the thing, so. All cross stitch, then a nice border around it. And what you can see, and I'll try to get it closer up so you can see, is that there's a whole bunch of half cross stitches. Most of the blue, the water around the end is all half cross stitches. A lot of the little buildings and everything. Let's see if I can get closer up. Moving towards the other end of the U.S. California. Yeah. Those are two of my pieces of cross stitch. Maybe I'll show you some other pieces I've made over the years, and I'll see if I can find all of these were framed here in Portugal, because framing them in Holland, because I did most of these while I was still living in Holland, framing these in Holland became super expensive, and I'd come here and for maybe like a quarter of the price I had these pieces framed. And as you can imagine, I mean, this piece is quite big. It's they usually have it on here, but this one doesn't. It's roughly maybe 90 by 70, so 70 in height and maybe 80 to 90 in length, centimeters. So, you know, the wood, because this is proper wood, and then the glass comes to quite a bit of money. So I still have several pieces that need to be framed, but I haven't got around to it, and I need to get around to it eventually, and I will. So, but yeah, just showing you these two, and maybe next week I'll show you some more. Bye.